I'm going to show you the best beginner offense that anybody can use to success in college football 25. Whether you're in dynasty mode, playing against friends, or even playing online in the college football playoff mode where you have to pick your team's playbook, this scheme will work with pretty much any playbook in the game. Now, my favorite playbook is the Alabama playbook, so that's what I'm going to be using, but you can use this out of any playbook. Basically, what you want to do is find a formation with 3 receivers to the same side. So a formation like trips tight end, for example, or this trio halfback weak formation, or this trips halfback weak formation, something like this where you have 3 spread out receivers on one side of the field. You don't want them bunched up like this, like bunched tight end. You want them spread out a little bit. So for example, here in practice mode, you can see how spaced out they are. What you don't want is them bunched together like this. Now, another thing to note is we want our 3 receivers on the wide side of the field where there's more space. So notice the ball's on the right hash marks. That means we have our receivers to the left side of the field. If the ball's on the left hash mark, we would have it flipped and have the receivers to the right side. Now, the first route combination we're going to go over will beat any coverage in the game. You just have to make the right reads. And this is how you set it up. We're going to put the B receiver, our most inside receiver, on a zig route by pressing Y or triangle, selecting his icon, and then choosing the zig option on our hot routes, which is going to be left on the D-pad. Then we're going to take the Y receiver, do the same steps, and then we're going to press the left trigger or the L2 button to put him on a flat. So you can see how the play is developing here. Then we're going to take the X receiver and we're going to put him on a deep dig, which is down on the D-pad. Now for the running back and for the other receiving option, whether it's a tight end or a receiver split out wide, you kind of just want them out of the way on this. If you have a tight end, I would like to put him on a corner route because I think that is going to be the best option because he will beat man. For the running back, you can either block him by pulling up the hot routes and then doing right trigger or R2 to block him, or you could put him like on an in route over the middle, something that can be a check down and can be a man beater. But the 3 receiver side of the field is where we're focusing on. So if it's a zone defense, you're going to look to hit the B receiver and you're going to hit him in this little pocket right here. No matter the zone defense, you should be able to pick up an easy 5 or so yards with this. And you'll notice no matter the zone defense, he's going to have a little pocket here. And if you pass lead this up, you can hit some big yards with it. The reason this is so open is because this other flat route is going to pull any flat defender to the sideline a little more. And then we also have this dig route going up the field. These 2 routes are going to occupy any zone defenders on that side of the field, leaving this pocket open for that zig route. But if you also wait later into the play against zone defenses, what's going to happen is this X receiver is going to come across the middle right in front of the safety for a big gain. Now, if you want to make that throw to the X receiver a little easier and open up more space, you can also put the tight end on a streak because that'll help clear out that deep safety even better. And what you'll notice here is, now look just how open this is. You can actually lead this up the field and get more yards with it. So that's something you can do if you know your opponent's running a lot of zone defense. But otherwise, I like the corner route option if you're not 100% sure, because if your opponent runs a man defense, this is going to be a really good man beating route to the sideline. But also this zig route is going to beat man pretty much every time as well. It's one of the best and most consistent man beating routes in the game. And this dig route to the X receiver will also do a really good job at beating man as well. As you can see, he cooks the defender, but just be careful. You got to get in front of the safety. Really quickly, I do want to mention that I do have a membership where I post my ebooks, my highest level offensive and defensive strategies to help you win more games. The link is in the pinned comment below, and I'm currently running a 7-day free trial, so you can check it out at no cost to you. Now, the next type of play I want to look at is a vertical. So again, if you were in this type of a formation, you're going to have the play vertical. So you see trio halfback weak, we have verticals there. We go to trips tight end, we have verts halfback delay, and then we also have a regular verticals play. You should have this type of a concept in any trips formation. Now, this is a type of setup I like as just a base verticals play because you have these 3 deep routes and then you want to put your tight end, or if you were in a formation where your receiver was split out wide like this, same thing, you want them on a drag because this is going to get open underneath very easily. And then what you want to do is you also want to put your running back, if you can, into some type of option over the middle. So here we're going to put him on this in route, because what happens here is against zone defenses, these 2 guys are going to be wide open underneath because all those deep routes force the zones further back. And you can throw these routes underneath all day for easy yards and then go up the field and get even more. Now, in the event that you're in a formation where your running back and your other solo receiver are on the same side like this, what you can do is you can just motion your running back over. So if you press the B or circle button, you can get onto your running back and then you can move the D-pad to the left here. So you can put him over and then you can have both of these routes going underneath into opposite directions just like this, and you can pick up some easy yards underneath against any zone defense. Those 2 routes will also do a pretty decent job against man a lot of the time as well because they mesh, but you also are going to have a crossing route to your inside wide receiver that is usually going to be a really good man-beating option as well. As you can see, if they run man defense, we're torching him for a touchdown. Now, if they're in a zone defense and they start shading it down to make it aggressive, that is going to take away things like your drag and your running back route underneath. But what this does is it's going to open up the deeper routes because your intermediate zones are all going to be crashing down really hard. So as you'll see here, with them crashing down hard, we can throw this in over the top of them because they're playing too shallow. Or we could quick hit the seam just like this and make a secure catch. Hey, if you're still here at this point of the video and you're liking the content, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on. That way you don't miss out on any of the top college football tips all year long. Now, staying in verticals, another setup I like with this will help us bomb the two most popular zone coverages in the game, cover 3 and cover 2. What we're going to do here is we're going to streak the B receiver. We're going to put our tight end here on a corner route. Now, if this was a formation where this guy was lined up out here and it wasn't a tight end, instead of a corner route, we would put him on to a comeback route. So outside comeback, if he's inside, put him on a corner. Now for the halfback, if we're trying to do a bomb, we can block him to have better blocking, or if we want to check down, we could put him on an out route, we could put him on an in route, whatever we want to do just to have something to have a check down. But against cover 3, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to hit the Y receiver as he crosses the field. So this is how it should look. And as you see, we are bombing cover 3 for a one-play touchdown because we put the other deep zones into a conflict. This zone over here has to worry about any type of a corner or a comeback, so he has to kind of bite on this. Whereas this deep safety has to carry the streak that's running right at him, which then frees up this post, as you can see, to come behind the defense and get wide open. Now, again, it's good to have a check down because in case pass rush starts coming in, you want to just get rid of the ball, pick up a few yards, and make sure that you don't get sacked. Now, against a cover 2, this same setup will work, but we're going to look more so for the guy on the outside left, the X receiver. As he clears that underneath corner, you're going to see he is wide open down the sideline for a huge play. Now, setups like these to bomb coverages are something that you should mix in. You should try to call them at the right time, and they're also really going to be good if you're playing against somebody that just likes to sit in a cover 3 most of the game, or they like to sit in a cover 2 most of the game. You know that you can dial this up strategically to try to hit them for a big play. Now, here's another route combo I love out of the trips look. We put our outside wide receiver on a comeback, our slot receiver on a deep cross, our inside receiver on a zig, our tight end on a streak, and the running back on some type of an underneath route. You could put him on this in route that goes to the flat. If he's lined up on the other side of the field, for example, if we were in a trips tight end, for example, like this, then we'd have him on just a regular flat route. This is just the regular flat option where he goes here. This is going to be a good option to beat everything. So what's going to happen here is against zones, what we're going to be looking to do if they're playing standard zones are attack the flats or the crossing route as he clears out. But we're looking for the flats first. First, I'm looking either at the running back or the B receiver. Those are the two options. Really, I like to look at the B receiver first because if these are standard zones, they're going to drop too far back and we can quick hit it just like we did with our first setup. It's going to be a little quick hitting route underneath. Or we could have our running back in the flat no matter what formation we're in, whether he's on the regular flat or the in route, he'll be open. Now, again, if we wait a little longer for whatever reason, we can hit the Y receiver as he crosses the field and he's going to be wide open. Now, if they shade their zone defense down to get aggressive, we'll still have that deep crosser the exact same way. He'll just get open a little bit quicker. But another option we're going to have is this comeback route, which if we time it up right, this is going to absolutely destroy zone coverage. And against man, we have multiple options. We have the zig route, as I've already discussed, is one of the best man beaters in the game. The deep crossing route, which we already discussed, is also going to always be a consistent man beater, especially if you have a good receiver there. But the comeback route is also another one of the best man beaters in the game. And all you got to do is just time it up right, and you'll see just go for that possession catch or the secure catch, and it's big yards. Now, when it comes to running the ball out of these sets, you want to look for anything that is like an inside zone or some type of a RPO bubble. So in this formation, the trio halfback weak, we have an RPO alert bubble. So what this is going to do is give us the opportunity to throw a bubble screen or hand it off. So right here, we're going to read the play beforehand. We see that there's 3 defenders over top our 3 receivers on the left, which means bubble screen's probably not going to be open. So we're going to just go ahead and hand this off to the running back. We're going to go up the middle, try to get easy yards. We have to keep the defense honest with the run too. You don't want to pass every single play. Now here we can see the way the defense is set up. There are not a lot of defenders over here on the left side. So we snap the ball and we're going to hold the B button to throw this bubble screen. And I mean, this can be back-breaking. You can get a few easy yards or you can get huge yards just like this. Now here in the trips tight end formation showing different options, we have a regular inside zone, which is going to be your best shotgun run always. But we also have an RPO read Y flat. So we want to call that. We want to give ourselves a pass option here. Now I'm not really worried about the tight end flat on this. I'm just worried about the bubble screen and the running back. So again, we see 3 defenders over there. Bubble screen's probably not going to be good. Now, the guy over the X receiver could bite inside, but that's a read we have to make post-snap. Right now, I'm thinking run. And that's exactly what was the right thing to do. We let him hand it off to the running back. We didn't get many yards, but throwing the bubble screen was not going to be the right idea. But when you see they give you the bubble screen, you want to take it and get those easy yards, and this is going to really make it hard for them to play defense on you. Now, in some of these formations in certain playbooks, like the Bama playbook in this trio halfback week, you'll also have a speed option, and these are absolutely deadly. If you have a speed option, you want to be using this. And you're going to run this like a regular option. You're just going to run out with the QB, hold the LBL1 button, pitch it to the running back. The defense bites on the quarterback most of the time. Sometimes you will keep it with the QB, but more times than not, you're going to hold it for a split second, do a hard pitch to the outside by holding down LB or L1, and just pick up easy yards with this. When you factor in the other plays and the bubble screens and stuff like that, and the fact that you can run inside, if you have a speed option with this, it just takes it up to a whole nother level. And don't forget about the halfback slip screen. Pretty much every formation should have one of these, and they can pick up some big yards. They're really good in this year's game, and especially if your opponent runs a lot of zone or they try to blitz you a lot, try to sneak these in there. Just make sure you get the ball off in time, and these can pick up some really easy yardage, and combined with everything else, very hard to stop. Now that you know about the best offense in the game, you're halfway there. Now you need the best defense so that you can get stops, and you can check out that video right here on the screen.